I'm Lieutenant Andy Ramdath with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. I am currently the team captain for Team Manatee, Law Enforcement United. This year I rode for Director Thomas Clements from Colorado Division of Prisons. So Law Enforcement United is the parent organization. We are Team Manatee. We started about 3 years ago. This year would have been the completion of our third ride. Started as about 5 or 6 of us. What we do is we raise money throughout the year through fundraisers and donations, and that money goes to support us in our endeavors to ride, as well as Law Enforcement United's contributions to the COPS camp, which is a Concerns of Police Survivors camp. That is a camp that is fully funded through donations to allow the families of fallen officers, primarily their children and spouses, to participate in a group environment and do group activities and be with other people who have been through the same or similar circumstances. Our team has grown from the first year of 5 or 6 to, I believe we had around 19 members this past year. That's just for Team Manatee. We are attached to the Virginia Division chapter. There are several chapters. Our chapter was capped at 500 riders, and collectively there's about 2,000 of us. Last year, 2017, we raised around $500,000, and this year it was significantly more than that. I don't know the exact number. But we each take time. It's all completely voluntary. We do fundraising efforts on our own, weekends, days off, that kind of thing, and we do it all to support the children and the families of the fallen officers. So historically, the weather played a vital role in our endeavors. Last year, 2017, we had some severe weather, really cold, 40 degrees, wind, rain, a lot of dangerous conditions. This year, we had actually beautiful conditions. It was hot for a lot of people. We didn't encounter any rain. One ride day 2 got cut short this year due to impending hail and lightning. The ride covers 3 days, always the same dates of the year during Police Week. And first day we ride about 108 miles from Chesapeake, and the second day it's around 80 or 90 miles. The third day is another 50 or 60 miles, depending on the route. It's a total of just under 250 miles over the course of 3 days. We arrive in Washington, D.C. We do an arrival ceremony where we present either the bracelets that we wear throughout the ride or the flag of the fallen officer to the family members if they so choose to come and receive it. Honestly, my favorite part is when we get to ride through the schools and see all the children get to come out, and we give them, patches or bracelets or whatever, and they really just light up. The other side of it is when they show us the videos of the preceding year of the camp or whatever, which is really puts words into action, so to speak. We can see the effect of our fundraising efforts on the families of fallen officers. Well, we've continued to grow every year, and it looks like we're going to grow again this year. We've received tremendous support from our sheriff. Before he was our sheriff, when he was our colonel, he provided the same level of support. I don't anticipate that changing. If anything, I think he's going to provide more support. BPD has been an integral part of our efforts as well. They are adding more riders every year. This year they brought their whole honor guard team up, and they had a motor unit come up as well in support. The community support is 100%, I guess, important. It's where we get all the funding for this thing. Any small businesses, big businesses, anything we can do, we take in-kind donations or monetary donations. We do a lot of raffles, stuff like that. But it's 100% donation fed, and we are very grateful for our supporters. And we've had many continuous supporters that come every year and provide money or product, and they've again pledged to come again this year.
My name is Joshua Small with Braden Police Department. I rode for Deputy Julie England Bridges. I attended her funeral as honor guard, and at a later time, her brother Brett England recognized me at a baseball game that apparently both our sons played in, and he approached me and introduced himself, and from that point forward, we became very close friends, and my family's real tight with their family now, and we participate in multiple activities together, and for that it made the ride very much more personal. The 2017 ride, I kept on sending motivational messages to the Team Manatee when they were doing their ride, and John and Violet Negron multiple times encouraged me to join the team and actually ride myself in the next year. Distance definitely for one of the difficulties, and the hills were definitely a difficulty. It was extremely hot, so just stayed really hydrated. The most gratifying from the whole trip was at the very end when I actually met with Brett England, who is Julie Bridges' brother. Brett has inquired about joining the ride and riding as a survivor in the next ride.
I just wanna stay in the sun where I find I know it's hard sometimes. Pieces of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much, but it's fun to fantasize on my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was. But it's fun to fantasize. Oh, 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 oh. I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride. I die for you, that's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody in this room. But they don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally, I don't know what I do. I'd live for you, and that's hard to do. Even harder to say when you know it's not true. Even harder to write when you know that tonight there were people back home who tried talking to you, but then you ignored them still. All these questions, they're folded like who would you live for? Who would you die for? And would you ever kill? Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride.
I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much.
Help me. thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
Help me.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time. Taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my. I've been thinking too much. Help me. I've been thinking too much. Help me.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
Help me.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
I've been thinking too much.
Help me.
We're at the Rappahannock Regional Criminal Justice Academy. Last year when we were here, it was absolutely cold and rainy. We're all huddled up underneath the tents over there behind you, and today it's kind of like Florida weather today. It's been kind of rough on some of these hills coming into Stafford County, which is the biggest hills that we have here. About mile 56, my legs started cramping up, and I ended up at the back of the line, and then Andy Ramnap was yelling at me there, "Hey, Negron, you're at the back of the line, you better start pedaling." So I looked back, and I was like, oh boy, I'm at the end of the line. And once you get to the end of the line, you get put in the bus. You don't want to get put in the bus. So they said I shot out like a rocket. They made a hole in the middle, and up the middle I went, and I was gone. So we're here. We're at 65 miles in, 66 miles in, so we only have about 19 left. And next couple of stops, we only got 2 left. They're pretty hard, but we'll get it done.
Has the heat been affecting anybody?
It has been affecting a lot of the northerners because they're not used to the heat, but us from Florida, we're kind of used to cycling in this kind of weather. I'm wearing my vest today and yesterday. That's for bringing awareness that if I could cycle with my bulletproof vest, anybody should be able to get out of an air-conditioned car with a bulletproof vest. There's guys that don't wear it, and it's not good. We have it issued. We have a policy. Wear it. So there's no excuse that you can't wear it. Because I'm out here riding 250 miles with the vest on. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Every year when we stop here, since this happened in 2014, this end of watch really affects me. But because it happened right at this location. It's Deputy Sheriff Brian Marshall Berger, Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office, Virginia, end of watch, April 28, 2014. Deputy Berger suffered a fatal heart attack while participating in physical training at the Rappahannock Regional Criminal Justice Academy in Fredericksburg, Virginia. He was performing several exercises while warming up for officer survival exercises when he began to feel ill. An ambulance had been called to the academy, but he suddenly collapsed as it arrived at the scene. He was transported to the local hospital, but doctors were unable to revive him. Deputy Berger had been sworn as a deputy for 7 months and had previously served as a dispatcher for the Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office for 2 years. He was survived by his wife and parents. One of the things that I want to impress on all these rides, no matter what year we're riding, is situational awareness. But sometimes we focus on situational awareness once we get into a firefight or once we get into a situation. But this individual died as a result of a heart attack, and I've read 2 or 3 of those today. There's some of you out there right now that are struggling going up these hills. But I want you to know something. I don't care what your statue is, I don't care what your race is, I don't care what your socioeconomic status is. The fact of the matter is, you're out there on a bicycle. I don't care if you got to get into the bus or whatever the case may be. But every single one of you ought to applaud yourself. It's easy to stay home and say, yeah, I'm going to do it one day. But just by the sheer fact that you're out here right now doing something for a fallen brother or sister, that says and speaks volumes for each and every one of you. Support staff, riders, whatever.
Jason Carey, detective with Manatee County Sheriff's Office. This is my third year participating with Law Enforcement United. This year I participated with the Maryland Division. It's considered the Rough Ride. The Rough Ride honors our fallen canines. The ride begins in Cumberland, Maryland. It is an off-road mountain bike ride, and the ride is a 185-mile ride from down the C&O, which is the Cumberland, Ohio Historic Trail along the Potomac River from Cumberland, Maryland to Washington, D.C. The Rough Ride honors our fallen canines. This year I rode in honor of Canine Indy. Indy is fallen canine out of Cache County, Utah. His end of watch was July 3rd, 2017, and Canine Indy passed away from heat exhaustion. The Rough Ride is it's definitely a different style ride. It's an off-road ride. You don't have the smoothness of a road ride. You know, the road. We encountered some rain on day one during our send-off ceremony, so we had lots of mud. We were covered from head to toe in mud, potholes. There was some down debris that we had encountered on our trail. On day 3, we ride from Harpers Ferry, West Virginia to Washington, D.C. It was a very early morning for us. We we started riding at 4:30 in the morning. It was pretty interesting because we were on our trail with lights on our bikes. It was pretty dark, and we had to get to Washington, D.C. Approximately around 12:15, I think 12:30 in the afternoon, to meet up with all of the other riders from the other divisions, the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Virginia divisions. And we meet up with them on the Memorial Bridge in Washington, D.C. And right when we got on the Memorial Bridge, they came right around the corner. Must have been about, I think, 800, 900 riders. Came around the corner. It was a great sight to see all those riders come by us, and then we join in with them in the back of the pack, and we all rode into Haynes Point there at the park for the arrival ceremony together. Being a participant and a member of Law Enforcement United means a great deal to me. I take a lot of it's a great honor to be able to raise funds for the family of our fallen officers and to be able to support their family members through Concerns of Police Survivors organization, and it's an honor to see what LEU does as far as Cops Kids Camp, and being able to send all these survivors to therapy and counseling, and to be able to support them.
the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red-glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
They are mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sons and daughters. They are chiefs, sheriffs, constables, deputies, troopers, and special agents. They are our colleagues, protectors, and friends. But there is one word that fits them all: hero. Not because of how they died, but because of how they lived. Tonight, we honor the fallen and all who continue to follow in their footsteps of law enforcement service, members of America's thin blue line of righteousness, protection, and hope. It is a warning for the wicked and a beacon of hope for the righteous. In cities and towns across our nation, our law enforcement professionals have never stood taller nor prouder. We have witnessed their tireless devotion to public safety. We have been humbled by their selfless displays of courage, and we have mourned when they fell in the performance of duty. They advance when others flee, fight when others cower, stand up for what is right when others stand by. Common men and women inspired to perform uncommon acts of courage and compassion, always willing to put the safety and welfare of others above their own. With more than 21,000 names etched on the walls at the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial a few blocks from here, we stand shoulder to shoulder to honor these men and women who are now part of law enforcement's eternal legacy of honor. But with the addition of new names each year on the National Monument to the Fallen, we cannot ignore the terrible price that so many have paid to help harden a protective shield of freedom and public safety. We honor and remember those fallen heroes now and always, just as we honor and remember their surviving family members and colleagues. To all other survivors who have joined us here tonight, please know that you and your loved one will never be forgotten. As we raise our candles skyward in silent tribute, let us solemnly pledge to always remember and cherish those who have fallen, those who have been left behind, and those who continue to serve.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, major lift, the baffled king, composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. But she tied you to a kitchen chair, she stole your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. You say I took the name in vain, I don't even know the name, but if I did, well really, what's it to ya? There's a blaze of light in every word, it doesn't matter what you heard, a holy, unbroken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I did